the Wild, the new Zelda game that breaks the boundaries of what we have thought for years a Zelda game should, would, and could be like. It's regarded as the best in the series by many and is currently my favorite. It's been getting 10 out of 10s across the board and seems to be something truly amazing, but instead of recycling everything everyone else has said, I'm trying to give a different perspective here today. So let's go. Breath of the Wild is the latest entry in the Legend of Zelda series, and instead of its predecessors, which had almost always stuck to the formula of action-adventure game with a linear or extremely recommended path that if you differed from someone or something would tell you to go back to the main quest. I always found this strange, as packing a game to the brim with side quests and telling you not to do those side quests was kind of weird. Anyways, there was one game before Breath of the Wild that did things differently from the typical Zelda formula. And that game was surprisingly enough the original. You could do the dungeons in any order you wanted, no one to tell you where to go or what to do. It was like an actual adventure and it was great. You could even skip getting the first sword if you wanted, though it does make getting through the game way harder. And with this system also arose a lot of issues. For instance, since the internet wasn't exactly a thing, most people could never find all the secrets on their first, second, even 24th run, because they were so hidden and they didn't exactly have indicators to where they were. Not knowing where to go was a huge issue because no one ever told you where the 6th dungeon was. You had to find it yourself. This system was very flawed in more areas than just these. As soon as the internet was something almost everyone had access to, gaming sites went up, and with them a slew of guides for the game telling you where secrets were and where to go. Though personally I think the thought of needing an external source to play your game is bad, it's not like they could express much with how little space they had. The very next game, Zelda 2, had fixed most of these problems but was a very linear experience. It was more immersive and more challenging than Zelda 1, but the sense of exploration was almost completely gone. You were told what to do and where to go. Now onto a new console and we have a link to the past. This time we are still told what exactly to do in the light world, but we still have the ability to explore this vast world and a map to guide us through it if we get lost. Plenty of side quests to do and fun to be had. And in the dark world, while the dungeons are numbered, suggesting an order, we can go where we want, whenever we want. For example, you can do Dungeon 4 first, then 2, then 7, and so on. It was a great system that, while suggesting an order which is the easiest route, you can go anywhere you want, do any side quests you want. Now we have Ocarina of Time, and that sense of exploration is almost completely gone. You have an order of dungeons to do, and you have to do them in that order. Focusing on doing side quests is hard when you have a fairy constantly shouting at you to get back to the main objective. There are still places to explore and people to meet and side quests to finish, but the game makes it extremely hard to do so. And this was the standard for nearly 2 decades. Then Skyward Sword came out, a Zelda game on the Wii making full use of the Wii's motion controls to try to make it feel like you yourself were Link. The game was more linear than ever, however, and Fi wouldn't stop telling you what to do and where to go. Side quests were there, but you were still constantly being told to get back to the main task at hand. Exploration? The game is almost entirely linear paths to the next thing, and the closest you get to exploration is flying through the sky, and even that's limited, not to mention the motion controls were wonky and not very usable. This caused a pretty big upset by fans, and while I still think Skyward Sword is a good game, I see where they're coming from. A new Zelda game that was more freeform, like Link to the Past, or heck, even Ocarina of Time at this point, was in order, and let's just say Nintendo over-delivered. On to Breath of the Wild, and wow. As soon as you get off the Great Plateau, you can do whatever you want. You can go fight Ganon immediately after beginning the game if you want. While there's a suggested path, you can go about that said path in different ways. There's 4 divine beasts, and you can defeat all 4 of them in any order you want. Heck, you don't even need to defeat them. Any strategy for beating the game is a perfectly valid strategy. Want to do the game's recommended way while also trying to get all the shrines? Perfectly fine. Want to fight Ganon immediately by preparing with buying armor and making potions? Hey, it might be hard, but it can work. Anything you do in this game was your choice and yours alone, and there is so much to do. There's a total of 76 side quests in this game and 120 shrines. And the shrines are basically just mini dungeons that you can conquer to get spirit orbs, which are essentially a fourth of a heart container stamina vessel, which if you talk to the god statues, which are in most towns you can find dotted about the world, you can trade in 4 spirit orbs for a heart container or stamina vessel. Oh, and did I mention this world is huge? Well, it's absolutely huge, and every little corner has something new to do and to try. You can do so many different things, it's almost overwhelming. You can even kill monsters with trees. And most of the problems presented with the original Zelda are gone. You have an expansive and detailed map, and with the quest system you can set markers on the map of where you need to go. And if you see a shrine or anything interesting in the distance really, you can pull out your Sheikah Slate and set a marker on the map to either bookmark the destination for later, or just so you know where you're going. It's a great system, and I love it. Not to say this doesn't present any problems with the game though. First of all, there's frame dropping everywhere, even on the Great Plateau. I haven't tried the Wii U version yet, but I heard it's even worse than on the Switch. While this definitely doesn't ruin the game, it's still kinda bad. But maybe they'll patch out most of the frame dropping, I don't know. Also, it seems that frame drops are most prevalent in grassy, foresty type areas. Another issue I had with the game is that the puzzles are either just stupid easy, or just plain unfair. Like, there's some puzzles where you light a few torches, cause a few fires, and you're done. And others where it's like, oh, you gotta line the store map here with a number of holes here, and we're only ever giving you a vague clue on how to do it. Though I can think of quite a few great ones, these super easy or extremely frustrating ones can make the feeling of accomplishment diminish for you, or heighten it if you didn't use a guide on the super hard ones. The only times I've ever had to look up guides for this game were for a specific few shrines. Again, it won't ruin the game for you, but kind of a bummer either way. And even on normal mode, the game is extremely hard, especially in the beginning part, though the feeling of overpoweredness you get in the endgame overshadows this, so it's fine for me at least. Oh, and did I mention this expansive open world game is portable and is getting DLC? Well, I've got DLC already, but I'm not reviewing that till the end of the year. So all in all, Breath of the Wild is a great experience that if you have a Wii U, you need to buy it, and if you have a Switch, you probably already have it. It's extremely fun to play and experiment around in, and it's getting a 9 out of 10 for me. It has some minor issues, but is overall just great, and you should definitely play it if you haven't already.